Hi guys, Selena Walker here, and today I want to talk to you about chamomile. So I'm down in my herb patch and I'm just about to harvest this amazing chamomile for my clinic apothecary and to make some tincture. So I thought I would bring you along with me and talk you through the process. So chamomile, this amazing flower here, and you get two different kinds of chamomile. You might be aware of a Roman chamomile and a German chamomile. Now I've got the German chamomile here at the moment, and the German chamomile is an annual but it self-seeds quite well, so I'm probably not going to have to replant it. And then the Roman chamomile is more of a perennial. I do have some Roman chamomile in other parts of the garden as well. Now chamomile has that amazing, that it's almost like pineapple-like fragrance, and once sniffed, you never forget and you always recognise. And I always find whenever I'm working with chamomile in the garden, I always come away feeling really blissed out and just very relaxed. And that gives you a clue as to why chamomile is such an amazing flower to work with. So I'm just going to chat to you about chamomile as I'm harvesting her flowers here. So chamomile, as I said, chamomile makes me feel very relaxed when I'm harvesting the flowers. And the reason that is because she's a great sedative. She can just relax all elements of the body, and she's very good at working on the digestive system. And one of the reasons for that is the antispasmodic action that she has. So that means if your stomach or your digestive system, your abdomen is in that spasmodic mode where it's kind of just in spasm, the antispasmodic action of the chamomile will really help to just calm things down. Again, back to that relaxation word. The other thing that she's amazing at doing for the bowel is she can regulate the peristalsis action. So the peristalsis action is the muscular action in the colon. So if you imagine an earthworm coming along, kind of moving along, that moving in action, that's a bit like your peristalsis in your bowel. And it's a bit like that earthworm action. And sometimes the peristalsis just needs to be regulated. And chamomile, I can't help but smell her, is your friend for your peristalsis action in your bowel. So you can use her if you've got tension in the abdomen, if you're stressed, if you just need to relax. And let's be fair, if you've got tension or you're stressed, the very first system that turns off in the body is your digestive system. So it's going to be your digestive system that needs a helping hand. So chamomile works on both levels because she'll help your body relax and also help regulate that peristalsis action and get the bowel and the digestive system working as it should. Now, looking at relaxation, the other thing that chamomile is absolutely amazing at working with is to help you sleep because of that relaxation action. I know if I've had problems sleeping, I use a mixture of lemon balm and chamomile together, and I've used that quite successfully with lots of clients to help them switch off in the night and just relax the whole system. So you can see all I'm doing here to collect is I'm just going through and pulling the flowers off. Now there's already loads of flowers coming behind, so whilst it can be a bit devastating for some people when they got an amazing array of flowers like this on a patch and they don't really want to take all the flowers, know that there'll be more coming soon. And there might have been some that you've missed. And you want it to self-seed, so you do want to leave some of it to go to seed as well. And I'm just taking the flowers that are very upright and very alive looking. If they're starting to go a bit brown or if they're starting to look a bit limp, then I wouldn't take those. So coming back to amazing chamomile. So as we've said, she's great for relaxing, so it can help with insomnia. She's got a sedative action, so that will help with inflammation as well because it can relax the inflammation in the body. She's great for the digestive system to just release any of that spasms that are happening in the digestive system, to regulate peristalsis, and even to stimulate the appetite. So lots of people that have had digestive issues, they can also have suppressed appetite. And as part of that can be because there's been a fear around eating and the pain that it's going to cause. And what chamomile does through the relaxation and how she works with the digestive system and the digestive juices and all that good stuff is she can help just stimulate the appetite and get the appetite kind of going again and get the appetite working. And how she can do that is by stimulating, as I said, digestive enzymes and then working with the digestive system. So because of her action through her volatile oils and the slight bitterness that's there, that will help stimulate the digestive juices and the bile being produced by the liver and that secretion into the small intestine, the duodenum, to get the digestive system just flowing and working really beautifully together. So that's one of the reasons I'm making a tincture, so I can share the amazing actions with my clients. Now, the other thing that you can use chamomile for is you can simply make a tea. And if you're making a warm tea, that can be great for helping if you've got things such as a fever. And the warm tea will really help if you've got anything like an infection going on in the system, and that antimicrobial and bacterial action of her will really help to get the fever going and get the body's natural defence system and the natural reaction of fighting bacteria or pathogens that have come in. So she again will really help with that. She can help clear catarrh. So again, coming back to it, if you've got pathogens or illness, then she'll help clear the catarrh. And the other thing that I've used chamomile for, and chamomile is very famous for being used for, is her antihistamine action. So in allergies, certain allergies, chamomile can be very useful. And you know, she's so great. She was known by the Egyptians as the gods of the sun, and you can see that by looking at her. And she was also used in part of the kind of embalming and mummification process of the Egyptians. So I always say, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. But as I said, if you have got chamomile in the garden, just start picking her and sniffing and seeing how she makes you feel. Make a cup of tea. What does it taste like? What does it feel like? How does it make you feel? And the other thing, in your garden, when you're planting chamomile helps all of the plants around. She will help bring the health back to the plants. So by planting her in the garden, not only is she medicine for you, but she's also medicine for the plants around. And I love that action of how the plants will work in harmony together and will start to actually help each other come to a state of health and well-being, working as a community as we humans should be. So I'm going to carry on harvesting this, and then I'll show you how I turn these amazing flowers into a tincture. Okay, I've got a good harvest here of the amazing chamomile flowers, and I'm going to show you how to make a tincture. So I've got two different sized jars here because I basically want to loosely fill the jars, so I'll see how many I've got. Let's start with the big jar and see how full it gets. So I'm just gently putting them in, getting that delicious fragrance as I do it. I think it'll probably be plenty for the big jar. If it's too many, I can always dry them because I want to make chamomile oil later in the year, and that in fact will be for my next harvest. In fact, I think this is probably going to be a perfect amount. So as I said, you want to loosely fill and squish a bit, but you don't want to squish it so tight that the alcohol has nowhere to go. There we go. I think I'm going to get it all in, which is fantastic. So I love making my tinctures fresh In fact, in the field next to the plant. So I can show the plant the good work that she's doing. Don't waste any. I'm going to put that in my mouth then. In fact, I'm going to consume this one as I'm making it. Now, lots of people ask about the difference, and as I mentioned earlier, you get German and you get the Roman chamomile. The German chamomile is a bit less bitter than the Roman chamomile, but it's still bitter. You can still taste the bitterness of it. But you want that bitterness. That's what really helps with the digestive action and getting that bile flowing. Some people also say that the German chamomile has more volatile organic compounds in it, more essential oils. You might know that as more of the medicinal oils. I'm not 100% sure on that, and I say go with what you've got. And if you like me, you might have a bit of both, and you might mix it up. Some years you might have more Roman, some years you might have more German, but I think the medicinal action is pretty much interchangeable. So, how beautiful is that? I've got my jar full of chamomile flowers, and all I'm going to do now is I've got my vodka here. So if I just pop that there next to the mullein. Have I got one of these open? Yes, I do. So I've got my Welsh vodka here, made from Welsh spring water, and I'm simply going to pour that on. And what I want the vodka to do is I want it to cover the flowers and go as close to the top as I can without spilling it. So I might, I'm going to need to open the second bottle. Pop that there gently. Just make sure I've got every last drop out. Don't want to waste any. I'm sure at the recycling centre they think I've got a vodka problem with the amount of these bottles that I go through. But I love how you can turn alcohol into medicine. And that pop. Okay, so this is where it gets tricky. I need to try and fill it as much as I can to get everything under, but not spill it. And I'm not on level ground. This is a lot easier when I'm in the kitchen. There we go. Okay, stop her back on the vodka. I'm putting my lid on, and what I'm going to do is just very gently agitate it to get the vodka around. And what I will do with this now is tomorrow, once it's had time to settle, I will just check that the vodka is still at the top, because let's have a look already, because sometimes it's instant once the bubbles go around. No, it's still at the top, but by tomorrow it might settle and the vodka might just need to top it up, so I can top that up. So the vodka I'm working with here is 43%. So that means that it's 43% alcohol. And what I will do is I will leave this macerate for at least 4 weeks. I will leave it until I actually need it for my clients and it's ready to press. Now, don't be alarmed if after time, you can see already, even though that was quite packed quite well and I've put the vodka in, there's a gap there. And that happens whether you're working with dried or fresh material. And by tomorrow it'll be even more so as it compacts together. That's not to say you haven't done it properly, that's what happens. But after a certain period of time, you will see the amazing colours come into that. And to shake or not to shake, that's totally up to you. It's quite nice to give it a tilt and a shake every day because you put your energy back into it. But more importantly, you need to put a label on it because you will forget what's on it. So I just write on mine chamomile flowers. And I'll put German by the side so I know which ones I've used, and vodka, and I shall pop that on the lid. Now it's key to put it on the lid, see if that old one comes off, because if you put it on the side of the jar, if you put it on the side of the jar, if you get any spillages, it's going to go down the label. And if you've got lots of the kind of daisy looking flowers, then they can all look pretty similar. So that's how you make the tincture. We've collected the chamomile flowers, we've put the flowers in a jar, and we filled it with vodka, and now we're simply going to leave that sit for at least 4 weeks, and then I'll strain it through some muslin, strain it tight, get all the last few drops out, and that is the tincture. And this is the medicine for you if you want to work on relaxing the body, if you want a delicious sedative to relax the digestive system, to work on spasms that might be going in, if you suffer from insomnia, to regulate your peristalsis, if you've got a fever, if you've got catarrh, it's antimicrobial, antihistamine. Everything about this also screams sunshine and summer. And I just invite you to get to know chamomile. So if this video has inspired you to get to know chamomile and to work with chamomile, please hit subscribe. It really helps me get these videos out there and get this information out there to empower people with the medicine of the land. And if you want to connect further, you can head on over to my website, selinawalker.earth, and sign up to my free newsletter where I'll send you hints and tips on how you can create a healthy body, a healthy mind and a healthy planet. I'll see you soon.